Welcome everyone, my name is Chebrolu, and in this video I'll be talking about a technique for registering plant point clouds which have been acquired over a period of time. The motivation for this work comes from the field of plant science, where phenotyping plays an important role. Phenotyping involves measuring different plant traits such as leaf lengths or stem lengths, etc., and use this information to characterize the performance of a crop. By computing these traits over a period of time, we can analyze how a particular plant is growing. However, this is quite a time-consuming and laborious process, and in this work we look to develop registration techniques that would help us automate these processes. We have a time series of 3D point clouds as shown here, and our goal is to come up with techniques that would allow us to register these point clouds with each other. As you can see visually, the shape of these plants change dramatically over time due to growth, as well as the topology changes as new leaves emerge. This makes the task of registration challenging. One of the main ideas in our work is to exploit the skeleton structure to drive the registration process. We compute the skeletal structure from the original point cloud by exploiting the semantics of the plant itself. Once we have the skeletal structure for the source and the target scan, we compute the correspondences between them. We model the correspondence estimation problem as an inference on a hidden Markov model. After computing the correspondences between the two skeletons, we compute the registration or the deformation parameters between them. The deformation is modeled by an affine transformation, as this is able to capture the growth as well as other non-rigid movements between the skeletons. We obtain these deformation parameters by solving a nonlinear least squares problem. Once we have estimated the deformation parameters for the two skeletons, we extend them to the entire point cloud. We then apply this registration technique to all pairs in our time series and come up with graphs like these. In this graph, we are able to track the phenotypic traits over a period of time. We are able to do this due to the data association as well as the registration that we have computed before. In addition to tracking the traits, we are also able to interpolate the point clouds at time instances in between actual measurements. In this animation, the pink point cloud shows the interpolated point cloud, whereas the blue one and the green one are the source and the target point clouds respectively. We see that as the target point cloud approaches the interpolated one morphs into this target point cloud. Now, even if the registration or the deformation is large between the two point clouds, we are able to track this deformation. As a summary, I introduced a technique for registering 3D point clouds of plants by exploiting the skeletal structure. We were able to capture the plant growth and the other non-rigid deformation in between these plant scans. Using these registration results, we built a phenotypic application which allowed us to track different plant growth parameters. Finally, we also interpolated the point clouds for time instances in between actual measurements, which can be used for visualization or prediction purposes. We've also released the source code as well as the datasets used in this work. Please feel free to try them out. With that, I thank you for your attention.